What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. It's been a while since we've had a Samurai Jack game. I believe 2004. It was back on the PS2. I remember this because I actually had it and I thought it was an alright game. But it looks like we're getting a new Samurai Jack game this year. It was a really cool announcement yesterday. We're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to talk a bit about Wired that put out an article that rounded a lot of stuff up, brought up some new information, and kind of where we're going with Nintendo now cracking down more and more on leakers, especially as they go forward this year, trying to keep some things under wraps. And we're going to talk a bit about how that's really how that's shaping the community and Nintendo games in general going forward. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to hit that like button. Helps out a ton. And if you're brand new here, hit that red subscribe button down below as we push towards 400,000 subscribers. And we're going to start today with games with gold for March. And I looked at this lineup. Here's actually a slide for it. We'll go over some of the games. And you know what? It's actually not bad. I think it's okay. I don't think it's like amazing or blowing people away or anything, but it's definitely not the worst month that they've had. Like I said, I think there's some good stuff here. So we'll start with Batman: The Enemy Within. That will be available March 1st to the 31st on the Xbox One. Then we have Shantae, Half Genie Hero, which is an awesome game. And if you have been curious about the Shantae series, now is a great time to check it out. That is going to be available midway through March, starting March 16th, all the way through April 15th on the Xbox One. Then you have a couple of Xbox 360 games that are, of course, backwards compatible. You have Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, which I thought was okay. It hasn't aged amazing, but it's not like bad. It was from 2010. That's March 1st to the 15th. And then Sonic Generations, that will be the back half of March. It's March 16th to the 31st on the Xbox One and the Xbox 360. And the one that you should really think about checking out if you have an Xbox One X is Sonic Generations. That actually has an Xbox One X enhancement patch that adds 4K support and it looks way better. But games with gold, okay, I would say. Like I said, nothing crazy. Definitely check out Shantae and check out Sonic Generations, especially if you have an Xbox One X. And then Castlevania is not bad either. So like I said, I would say pretty good month. Also, let's quickly touch on a sale going on for Doom, specifically Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 3, and then just Doom 2016 on the Switch. I believe this is also on the Xbox One, but I did see this and I thought, wow, that's actually a good way to spend $6. $6 will get you Doom 1, Doom 2, and Doom 3 straight up. It's like a few pennies less than that, but basically like Doom 1 is $1.49, Doom 2 $1.49, and then Doom 3 is $3. So that is a great deal right there. Now, Doom 2016 on the Switch, it appears to be half off at $30. Still a bit high, I think, for Doom in general. I'm still a bit surprised it's $60 on the Switch. I think it's super cheap everywhere else. But either way, definitely check out Doom 1 or Doom 2. Doom 3, I know it's controversial, like I said, but I think it's still pretty cool, and there's a good bit of work put into that port. But, I mean, at least check out Doom 2, $1.49, right? Or just $6, you get all three of them, and you can kind of go through it. Pretty good, I think. Not a bad little sale there from Bethesda. Oh, and there are a few updates starting to come out for the Xbox One, specifically around the dashboard and the OS that you're using pretty much constantly. It's slower, I know, but they have been trying to refine it, and they've also been adding features that have been kind of community requested, and there's one that I have not even thought about until now, and this was posted on Reddit. You can see the screenshot here, and it looks like they're adding the eject button. Not the one that's actually on your system now, but the one that's in the OS on your home screen where you press a button on your controller and it will kick the disc out to you. This was something we, of course, had on the Xbox 360 and with the original Xbox, you hit eject. But I definitely remember using it more than now I'm thinking about it, I definitely used it more than I remember using it on the 360, where it was why I believe it kicks the disc out. You put the disc in and then hit A to have it send it back in. But the only thing here is because the Xbox One doesn't have a disc tray that kicks out, you still have to walk up and push it in, but you can press a button and it'll eject it to you. This appears to be updates that are rolling out throughout this week, so I guess keep an eye on that. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with Nintendo cracking down on leakers. It's something we've kind of observed going forward, especially over, I would say, at least the last year, right? We, of course, recently saw Nintendo, the Pokemon Company, Game Freak crack down on Nintendo, who had sent a review code along with an employee there or a freelancer or writer, and that person decided to then leak all kinds of information out onto the internet, and that was a bit of a problem. Nintendo appears to have now blacklisted that site, and they won't be partnering with Nintendo going forward any further for review copies that are at least early. I'm sure they can still buy the game and review it, but they won't get any pre-release information that is under embargo. The trust is broken, they move along, and that's kind of how it works in media, of course, when you break an NDA. But there are also several other factors at play here. One that it's been kind of ongoing here, and actually involves Nintendo in the courtroom with a person by the name online of Ryan Rocks, and it actually comes down to this person gaining access to Nintendo's developer portal when they were about at least 17, and then from there, they managed to actually infiltrate, hack into their servers, and pull more and more information going forward. Even after they lost their initial permissions to be a part of that developer portal, they still managed to pull information from the server, which did include things like concepts around the Switch. Apparently, that's one of the big ways that this got out there, was through this person hacking the servers. Wired covered all of this very, very well. Went from a summary from when Pokemon started leaking out all the way down to this, and then even on a bit further to current people in the community now who have been leaking information here and there as we go along. Some of it is still kind of up in the air if it's real or not, or if it's just kind of made up stuff. It's still kind of hard to say here. We should know whenever this next Direct happens, as some of it's been pointed to as being something that would happen this year, like, for example, when Zippo put out there that there would be a Paper Mario, and we've also heard different things around what appears to be a Mario Kart game or something with wheels. It's a whole thing with leakers, because on one hand, we of course have fans that don't want to know anything about this, they want to be surprised, but then you also have fans that are kind of like right alongside of them saying, well, I'd like to know what's coming. Can you tell us? And it's this weird kind of tug of war going on where people don't want to hear and then people do want to hear. And then it all comes down to how vague the person who has the information wants to be when they put it out there. Now, the case with Nintendo and Ryan Rocks has been settled. They'll be paying Nintendo north of $250,000 in restitution. But outside of that, if you're not technically breaking the law, getting the information, you yourself, you're not really in trouble to be putting the information out there necessarily. It comes down to where that information leaked out, because Nintendo, if it is information that is legit, like this is stuff that they have with their employees and there's an NDA in place, somewhere along the line that NDA was broken, Nintendo will work to figure that out. They'll check around, they'll put out false leaks to certain employees or people with knowledge, and they can see what it leaks out, and then that way they can tell who put it out there. Now, say we have Zippo and Sabi, both of which appear to be done leaking stuff now, citing reasons of Nintendo becoming increasingly more aggressive towards leakers, and yes, the stories of the Nintendo ninjas, those are true. That is something that happens. According to Sabi, for example, they're contacted by lawyers through Nintendo to cease and desist. Mostly because it's hard to say, I'll say it's unsure to say where some of the information comes from, whether it's through means of, like we saw with Ryan Rocks, where they're hacking, or if you just happen to talk to someone with knowledge of a project and, oh, what's that? We have Metroid Prime 4, that really is in development, that's going to be announced in 2017 at E3, wow. Do we put that information out there or not, or do we be vague about it? That's what it comes down to, and it looks like Nintendo really isn't playing around here going forward with the Switch into its second half of its life. We're about 3 years in now, right? Well, the next 3 years is going to be crucial for the Switch, especially since we'll be then heading into another generation. Nintendo definitely wants to keep things under wraps for any big surprises, and it looks like they are getting increasingly aggressive towards leakers. So I'm almost wondering now if that will start to dry up more and more, as most people with information that could be considered leaks just decide that they'll hold on to it. But I will say, if you see someone out there who has a history of leaking information and they kind of disappear for a while, or they are around and they're being vague about stuff, there's a reason for it, because like I said, there are companies out there that don't want the information to get out, and they will do things like go to court or cease and desist over it if you get too specific. Even Activision is getting in on the action, sending a subpoena to Reddit, trying to identify the person who leaked out information for a new Modern Warfare Call of Duty update that's coming out, I believe for their Battle Royale or something. All these companies are trying to do this to keep things under wraps. It's not just Nintendo, but they are definitely at the forefront right now, trying to track and keep leakers from putting information out there. Next up, let's talk about Samurai Jack. this is exciting. I was really happy to see this. Love the show, of course. They came back 2017 to wrap that all up. It was great. I really liked it. Thought the animation was awesome. Everything. It was just really, really good. If you've never seen Samurai Jack, go watch it right now. It's very, very good. But we haven't had a game since 2004, and like I said, I thought that game was okay. If I went back and played it now, I'd be like, oh, this is what I played. But I mean, that's kind of how you are with, a lot of us are with PS1 and PS2 and, you know, some GameCube and Xbox games. We kind of look back at it and say, woof, I don't remember it looking like that. But Samurai Jack in 2020, well, that is happening. A new trailer here was put out, and this is for Samurai Jack. Battle Through Time exploded online, by the way. Hit trending immediately. People were very, very excited about this game, and it appears to be kind of like a hack and slash action adventure 3D style game. And I got really excited, right? And then I looked at the developer for it, and it's Soleil? We'll say Soleil. And looking at their history of games, let's take a quick look at because they do put it up on their website. Let's see, we have Shinobi Striker, Travis Strikes Again, and Devil's Third. Okay, well, yeah, everyone has to start somewhere, right? Maybe this is their big redemption here, right? With Samurai Jack. Now, looking at the gameplay, I think it looks, for the flashes that they showed us, which, I mean, it wasn't a long trailer, right? They just wanted to set the whole thing up. We could get more information at PAX East, that's coming up, or maybe it's something at E3. It says summer of 2020. So we know about it now, and then it'll be out in like a few months then, I guess, right? Like 4 or 5 months, bam, there's Samurai Jack. I like that. I like that we hear about something and then it's out pretty quickly, right? So this is great to see. The 3D hack and slash action adventure sounds about right for Samurai Jack. I'm not really sure what else you would do with it. Like that wouldn't be like an RPG or even like a side scroller. I think this is the perfect idea for the game, of course. So we'll just see if they can pull it off. Also, the art style and visuals, I think, looked really good as well, and just excited for it. I want to see more. I want to see if there's maybe some character progression with like skill points and all of that, but still an action-adventure game. It looks pretty good so far. Let me know what you think about Samurai Jack down below. Next up, let's talk a bit about Resident Evil 3. It looks like an embargo went up for preview coverage for different footage and gameplay. Some of it was provided, it seemed, by Capcom, but there was some pretty good stuff out there for Resident Evil 3, but one thing is, I want to get to playing it. Like, it's on the same engine as Resident Evil 2. It looks fairly similar in terms of gameplay and visual style and all of that. I was ready to play it, right? Well, it looks like we will get to play it before release. Check this out. This tweet was put out by Resident Evil. It says, "It was written in the stars. A Resident Evil 3 demo is on the way. We'll have more details in the near future." Very exciting stuff. We get to play Resident Evil 3 early through a demo. Hard to say what kind of demo this will be. Remember, we had the one-shot demo with Resident Evil 2 that was eventually altered because originally it released with a time limit, and we were basically racing against the clock to see how much of it we can complete, whether we could finish the demo or we could just kind of wander around and eventually time would run out. They did eventually remove that time limit, and then we could just explore freely, while they also worked in a bit of a cameo by Nemesis, which was pretty cool as well. You could kind of hear Nemesis saying stars if you went outside the police station. Really, really neat. But now, what are they going to do with Resident Evil 3? I wonder if it'll be another time demo or if they'll kind of drop us in closer to the beginning like they did with RE2 and we just kind of wander around and check things out. What if there is a section of the game that's not even the full game and it's just part of the demo to lead up to it? That's what I hope it is. It's almost like a prologue kind of. We get started and then it goes into the full game from there. Maybe something moves over through save data or you get an item for participating in the demo. A lot of possibilities here. So here's hoping Capcom doesn't mess it up. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about actually something that could be a possibility going forward with the Xbox Series X and even the PlayStation 5 to a degree. Check this footage out right here. Which game do you think this is? It looks kind of newish, right? This is Need for Speed Underground from the PS2 and the Xbox and the GameCube, the first Underground, not even Underground 2. Now, there were some different visual mods that were actually added to the PC version that made it look better, but this is actually Need for Speed Underground with some of those visual mods with also a ray tracing modification added to it as well through different shaders. It looks pretty good right now. Now, performance-wise, it tanks. It struggles, right? But having it on a more beefier video card would probably help. Drop in an RTX 2080 Ti and might be off to the races here, which makes me wonder if, let's say, the Series X uses ray tracing with backwards compatibility for older games. It's just kind of a thought, some speculation thrown out there. But after seeing this here, which by the way, you can download this modification and try it out for yourself if you have the hardware on your PC to do it. Think about that for a minute. We could get older games. What if they took the original Fable and dropped some ray tracing shaders or something in there for that, and of course have it full upscale to 4K, or I don't know, we're playing around with 8K for backwards compatibility as well. That seems a bit crazy with original Xbox games, but 360, even Xbox One games could benefit from that idea. I don't know if it's something they're working on now, but that would be a really big reveal to have ray tracing kind of used in backwards compatibility. We've seen Xbox One X enhanced games. We talked about Sonic Generations being a massive eye-opener if you try it out, and you should. So what's stopping them from using ray tracing? We'll see if that's something they have in mind. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This one is from Floppy Disk Master saying, Sony, the manufacturing cost of the PS5 is so high. Also, Sony, hey, let's put a mini doctor's office in the controller. Now, that is still through a patent, but they've done several stages of this patent that's starting to make me believe that that controller is going to be very, very advanced. And that does kind of bring up a point, something no one's really asking right now. We keep asking, how much is that system going to be, the PS5? How much is that controller going to be? Do you see all of the stuff being dropped in there right now? And currently the PS4 controller is supposed to retail our MSRP for $65. It's almost always on sale. You can generally find it for like $45 or so dollars, somewhere in there. But still, how much is that PS5 controller going to be? Because the Switch Pro controller at $70 did feel like a lot, and that was just HD rumble and a few other things, but like the PS5 controller might detect your heart rate, your sweat, and other things, have an AI assistant that would be kind of linked to it through a microphone in it, and adaptive triggers, and haptic. There's a lot of stuff packed in here. Is this gonna be like a $75 or $80 controller? Ooh, we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for Newswave. Enjoyed this video, guys. Hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it is Nintendo cracking down on leakers. Do you like this? Do you like that the leakers are kind of being hushed a bit when it comes to big reveals so you don't have anything spoiled for you? Also, let me know what you think about Samurai Jack, the new game that was revealed yesterday. Aiming for summer. Looking forward to getting it in a few months. Really excited there. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.